This audio is going to talk about what DNA has to do with cancer. And I'm actually not even talking about the physical DNA that most people might think about when you think about DNA that's in your cells. It's still in your cells in a sense, but the DNA that I'm talking about is etheric DNA, also sometimes referred to as celestial DNA. So, what does this have to do with cancer? Well, we do know that on a physical level, every cancerous cell is aneuploid. So what that means is that it has the incorrect number of chromosomes. And there's something about it having an incorrect number of chromosomes that endows the cell with the set of behaviors or attributes that we would think of as being cancerous. So the cell starts to behave in a very specific way that is considered to be abnormal. And when we think about this, we really kind of, get a little bit philosophical about it. It would make sense then that there has to be something causing a cell to become aneuploid. There has to be something that is making the cell have the incorrect number of chromosomes, essentially. And if chromosomes are made of DNA, which they are, it's basically bundles of DNA. Those form chromosomes, which are those X-shaped things. You may remember them from biology class or something. If chromosomes are made of DNA, then something must be telling the DNA to bundle in a specific way, in an incorrect way, right? And the question is, what is it that's causing the DNA to do that? Well, my personal belief is that it's not, it's not the foods you're eating, and to a certain degree, there may be some connection there with your diet and your lifestyle, and how much radiation you're exposed to and that kind of thing. But I think that there has to be something much more basic almost that is underlying the assembly of DNA into chromosomes. Like the DNA has to be getting its instructions from somewhere, I think. And what I have been channeling and receiving from the higher realms is that it's actually the blueprint that is non-physical in nature, so it's not made of physical atoms, but the blueprint or the code that underlies your DNA that is actually an embodiment of your state of consciousness, an expression of your state of consciousness. And that is what causes cells, the DNA in a cell, to bundle incorrectly, and the cell becomes aneuploid, and then it becomes cancerous. So this is important to understand, because then it makes us wonder, what do I need to understand about consciousness? My consciousness as a human being, if it's being expressed through this code that underlies my DNA, then maybe I can change the way my DNA is expressing if I change something about my consciousness. And I would say that is entirely correct, and that is what the work that I do is all about. It's about helping you to shift or expand your consciousness out of separation consciousness and into what could be thought of as unity consciousness.